Good afternoon. Uh, it's been a minute since I've worked out and streamed, so we'll see how this goes. Let's see. I need to make sure I share in Discord. I took the last couple days off from lifting. I just rode the bike the last couple days, so and if I could type, why is it so hard for me to type? Okay, this is done. Today's going to be a leg day because tomorrow I'm actually going to a gym to work out. There's a gym in town that's having like a open gym where you can come work out for free. And so I'm gonna take advantage of that, and I'm gonna go lift. It's been a long time since I've gotten to use a lat pull down machine. It's like my favorite. My it's like the number one machine I miss from the gym, the lat pull down machine. I know it's random, but we all have the things that we like. Ah! I haven't front squatted in forever. Is that Steve and me? Well, well, well. Look who's working out again. Yeah, I took off. Well, I didn't take them off. I just didn't lift the last 2 days. I didn't lift. I just rode the bike. Um, but yeah, we're getting a lift in. I haven't front squatted in so long. UK key music, coding to working out. Yeah, that's about the only things I enjoy doing these days. Steven might as well have an underground nuclear bunker in his house. No, it's not big at all. It's just a small little quadplex apartment unit. See, when I also did front squats today, but my mobility is so bad, I had to put my straps on around the bar, grab the straps in order to do it. Well, hey, man, sometimes you got to make modifications, you know? But happy to hear you got your workout in already. Excuse me. Anthony Varela, A, just tired and hit my lowest. I stop. Hope you have a blessed one, man. Looking awesome. Love the smile. Yeah, Anthony, I hope you're having a great day too, man. Sorry you're feeling drained. Go get some pizza, Anthony. Pizza makes anything better. That's some good advice. Get some pizza and get some coffee. Caffeine and fat, you can't go wrong with that. I have to be honest now. I hope I didn't disappoint you too much, but look at the Discord. Okay. Nice. Okay, well, tea's allowed too. Hey, Toad Sage, how are you? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in again. Appreciate you. Toad Sage, the Discord we're talking about, there's a Discord link in my YouTube channel, like description or like links there on my channel. But a couple people asked me to start a Discord, so I did it. And there's like I think there's 7 of us in there right now. But if you want to join, you're welcome. I just drink tea after 2 p.m. That's probably a good idea. I mean, that's probably the half life of caffeine's like 8 hours, so 2 p.m. is probably a good time to cut out. Oh, I didn't add any more weight to this. That's probably the smart thing to do. Is there any application process in Discord? There is. It's basically just like, "Hey, how'd you hear about it, and why do you wanna join?" And you can put anything in there. I wanted to make sure it wasn't just, like, open to the public type of thing. So that's why there's an application process. "Hey, Pablo, how are you?" Toad says, "I filled it." Okay. I, uh, I might have to run up to my computer to let you in because I don't think I can do it from my phone. Let me see. Yeah, give me 1 sec, Toad Sage. I'm gonna do this set, and then I'll run upstairs and accept your invite or your app. All right, I'll be right back. Excuse me. My application will always be the best. I don't even remember what people put in them. There you go, Toast Sage. You are. You're in. Now wave hi to you. What did where did you hear the server? I asked for it. Yeah, you were the one, weren't you? Tim, hey, what's up, Steven? Got a day off today, just chilling. How's life? Hey, Tim, good to see you again, man. How you doing? Uh, I mean, life's good. We're just working out right now. No, no real agenda. I'm gonna try this again. That first set felt a little funny. Famous last words. So I might drop the weight a little bit. Well, that felt okay. Pablo, please don't black out on stream. Yeah, that would be bad. Pablo plus one, the Discord. Yeah, it was Pablo, Steve. There was like 3 or 4 people that asked about it at one point or another. He won't. This ain't nothing for him. I don't know, man. 225. It's been a long time since I front squatted. Man makes it look easy. I wish it felt easy. I'm actually tomorrow. I'm gonna go work out at an actual proper gym. There's a gym here in town that's having a like an open gym, so you can go and work out for free. You don't have to pay or anything. I'm sure they'll want my name in my email or something like that, but I'm gonna go there tomorrow morning. I think it's open from like 9 to 12. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to using a lat pull down machine. I haven't used a lat pull down machine in a long time, and that's one of the machines I miss the most from the gym. His leg is as thick as my body. I feel like I have really skinny legs, actually. I probably need to train legs more seriously, is the honest truth. Did anybody did any of you guys watch that TypeScript interview with, Matt Pocock and Anders this morning? You do, Steven. Good, you're working on them. I'm trying to start working out, but I need to gain weight like crazy. Nice. Sitting all day working doesn't help. Yeah, the world is very much, it's very much working against us in that way, Pablo. It wants us to be seated in a chair. Pablo, you watched it. Toad Sage watched it. Nice. I haven't seen it. I was planning on watching it, and then I was in a meeting for like 2 hours, and it ran right over the top of 11 o'clock. Was it good? Steven, I wish I had your problem, Steven. I truly do. Watch it on stream. Do a live. Hey, that's a good idea. I'm gonna be live. Well, I'm live right now, but I'm planning on after I get done working out, I'm gonna go live at 2 or whatever and work on code related stuff. So yeah, that'd be fun. We could watch it on stream. It was a great chat. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was really looking forward to it. I was really looking forward to watching it. And I'm still gonna watch it, but I was hoping to catch it live. It never fails. Whenever you don't have something you want to do, nobody needs you for anything. But the minute you have something planned, you know, somebody needs you. I just think Anders is like obviously an incredibly intelligent human being, and I enjoy listening to smart people talk about stuff. I'm trying to get some of their intelligence by osmosis. See, Toad? Yeah, Anders is such a friendly guy. Yeah, I think that's like, isn't he Norwegian or something? He's like from one of those northern European countries. I feel like that is the way of their people. Today is the first time I did kettlebell swings. Not bad for cardio. Not bad at all. Yeah, kettlebell swings are great. I have a kettlebell that sits right behind my desk, and periodically throughout the day, I'll do squats, swings, push ups, windmills. Don't meet anyone due to win, and then be as friendly as possible with all your peers. I mean, it's a strategy, Pablo. It's not a bad strategy. That's the North European country style. Yeah, I mean, if that's the kind of outcomes it produces, I say we should all adopt that strategy. This bar right here, this is kind of funny story. This bar right here, this was my graduation present to myself. When I graduated college in 2015, this was the first thing I bought. Like the day I graduated, I had this thing picked out, sitting in my shopping cart. and I told myself I'm not gonna buy it until I get to the end of this college thing. It's a nice barbell. It was like $400 or $500 barbell at the time. I don't know what it runs for today, but well, while you're working out, I might do my stretches as well. Nice, D1E. We're being productive around here. Pablo, what's your major again? My major was in biochemistry. That's what my degree's in. How did you end up where you are? You also mentioned you were a trainer for a while, right? Yeah. So the story, my backstory, Pablo, is kind of eclectic, uh, but I've had to explain it in every job interview I've ever had, so I can do it like off the cusp. Um, how did I end up to where I'm at? I went to high school, obviously. I graduated high school at 18. At that point in my life, at 18, I had already been lifting weights for 6 or 7 years, and I had made up my mind that I wanted to be a personal trainer when I got out of high school. So, like, I graduated high school in May. I took my personal trainer certification exam in like June or July. I took it twice. I failed the first time, passed it the second time, and then started coaching people like that summer. So the summer right after high school. Um, at that same time, I thought I wanted to be a doctor. So I was going to college and I selected my major as biochem pre med, and that was good. And then, like 2 years into that, I was doing the personal training thing, working at the gym, going to school. Um, so about 2 years into a year, it was like a year and a half into college, I had the opportunity to get a job as a medical scribe in the ER. And so I thought, well, this is going to be awesome experience for being a doctor. So I started doing that job. So I'd basically like train clients during the day, during the week, and then I worked 2 shifts on Saturday and Sunday at the hospital in the ER, and then I worked one overnight shift during the week. On Tuesday nights, I would work from like 10 at night to like 7 in the morning, and I did that for like 2 years almost, so basically till the end of college. Um, Let me do this set real quick. Where was I? So I got to the end of the college. After about a year and a half of working in the ER, I decided I didn't want to be a doctor anymore. But obviously, I was already at the end of my biochem degree, so it didn't really make sense to switch majors at that point. I'd already spent money and time. So I decided that what I really wanted to do at that point in time was to be a business owner, and I wanted to operate my own gym, train my own clients. So in the fall semester of my senior year, I gave my notice at the gym I was working at. I didn't really give my notice. I just basically stopped accepting clients, and we opened up our own facility. And my schedule was the same basically. I went to school. Around school, I trained clients during the week, during the day, and then on the weekends, I would work at the ER and then one overnight. And so I did that for the end of my senior year of college, and then for a year or so, year or two after. Then my wife got, and so uh, this may be more information than you want, Pablo. But uh, then after my so when my son was born, that was just too crazy of a schedule. I was working way too much. I was never going to be able to see my kid, and I had this 4 year degree that I had spent all this time and money pursuing. And so I thought, I better take this degree, get a big kid job, be available to my wife and my son. Um, and so that's what I did. So I went and got a job as a food scientist in a research and development department of a frozen food manufacturer. And I gave my notice at um, the scribe job. Well, actually, I didn't give my notice. The scribe job, the emergency department went through a bunch of budget cuts, and they actually got rid of the scribe program. And so I was done doing that. We shut the business down, the personal training down, because it just, like I said, it wasn't going to be feasible to work a full time job, do that, and be available as a husband and a father uh, without making some serious sacrifices. So I did that job for about 5 or 6 years, and at some point, that job was very intense. It required a lot of hours, a lot of work, and so at some point, I decided, you know what, I want to find a gig that I can maybe work from home, or I could do it remote, and was more aligned with my own personal interests, which at that time were trending towards technology. And so I got a job at a tech company, working in the support department. It's the same company I work for now. I worked in the support department, customer service, and I just slowly kind of like upskilled, right? And then eventually I made the move over onto our product team, uh, and then eventually where I am now, which is kind of as a quality engineer. Sanjeet, no coding, not any coding right now. At 2 o'clock, I'll be live again, and I'm gonna do coding then. Sanjeet, what is a food scientist? So, food scientist, it can mean different things in different companies. So some food scientists do like basic research, right? So they're kind of like really far to the left, doing like very low level. If you're familiar with like low level programming, there's food scientists that are doing research on that end of the spectrum. But there's also food scientists that are like in the programming world would be like application developers, where food scientists are more of doing like applied science, right? They're actually developing products with their knowledge that they have. And that's what I did. So I was more of a product developer doing applied food science. And so what my job was basically a customer or a client would come to us and say, I want this product or I want this type of thing. And my job was to create that, develop it on a small scale, right? So you develop it like in a kitchen. And then the real hard part of my job was commercializing that. So taking that from a, uh, what do I want to say? Taking that from small scale to full scale. So running thousands of pounds of product down a production line. Pablo, self improvement a bunch. Yeah. So and Pablo, I think I've mentioned this on stream, but that's where like what I identify as largely is learner, because that's what I've had to do time and time again, right? So I taught myself how to be a personal trainer. I taught myself how to be a medical scribe. I taught myself how to be a food scientist. I mean, obviously, I had some prior education in the sciences, but as we all know, a lot of what you do in any job, you kind of have to learn on the job, uh, regardless of what your education is. And then I taught myself how to be a support analyst for a software company. I taught myself how to be a quality analyst for a software company. I taught myself how to code, right? So it's really just been about my ability to acquire new skills and then leverage those skills in useful ways to other people. That's kind of the meta, that those are kind of like the meta skills I think that sit on top of everything, which is I know how to learn and I know how to solve problems. And it just the domain in which I do those things has changed over the last 10 years, 15 years, but all good things. All right, so that was my front squat, which was good. Sorry, that was a little loud. That was a lot of talking about me. Now I feel like I need to ask you guys about yourselves. I'm a learner, but with a weird hyper focus. We didn't hear that, don't worry. Okay, good. I dropped the weight, it was kinda loud. I think I chose my profession as a kid without knowing until 15 years later. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's nice when it works out like that, man. But that's honestly, that's where, like, you see a lot of people right now in the tech space running around, and they're kind of like I can feel the anxiety people have about the impact that generative AI is gonna have on their work, and I just don't have any of that anxiety because it really doesn't matter what comes next. I'll learn that too, and I'll adapt and change. I imagine at this point, I've had 4 or 5 careers. By the time I retire, I'll probably have another 4 or 5. Um, Change is just the only constant, right? And that's why I think getting good at learning, which is kind of all programmers and coders and people that are in technology sort of have to be good at learning by definition because things change so much. But I feel like that is just such an asset. If you can, or if you know how to acquire new skills, acquire new knowledge, uh, like good luck keeping that kind of person down. All right, what do I want to do next? I think what I want to do next is just some single leg supine bridges. 'Cause it's already 1:20. I kinda wanna wrap this up about 1:30, and then I'll go live again at about 2. Yeah, adapting is key. Yep. You gotta be adaptable, man. And, that matters both on the small scale as on the big scale, right? So, like, adaptable in your career, right? But you also wanna be adaptable and coachable as an employee, as a boss, like, if you're somebody who has difficulty with change or difficulty being adaptable, like, it's just gonna be tough for you to navigate the world, in my opinion. Like the world where you used to hold a job for 40 years and do the same thing forever, that world's just gone, you know? There's just I mean, there isn't that thing anymore. But I would choose programming over any other thing. Yeah, and I think I and Pablo, I think that's, like it's kinda funny because maybe there is a world in which programming becomes a non-paid job, but I would still do it because I enjoy it. Um, I don't know, like, I think it would suck to not be able to find work doing that kind of work, but I don't know. I think that's a very low like, for example, let me give a for instance. My mother, I love my mother. My mother has no interest in building a website. She has no interest in building applications, right? There's lots of people like her. My sister, right? I don't think my brother has any interest in doing that work. So no matter how no matter how much you abstract the work of building something like that, right? So, like, you can make it no code, you can make it low code, you can use natural language. I just don't think that that's going to change the fact that some people don't want to spend their time engaged that are needed to do some amount of that stuff, right? Maybe the tools that you use to do that work is going to be different, but excuse me, sorry. God, I've been talking too much. I can tell. I've got like cotton mouth going on. I tell you what, these will humble you, right? I mean, they seem so easy, but they're actually pretty tough. Ugh. Wow, I'm so I'm flexible. Mr. Y, a pull up. Yeah. I learned brain. Okay, nice. Very cool. It's so easy. Okay, awesome. Half the stretch is done. Nice, D1E. Very productive. No weight on those? No, no weight, man. I don't need any extra weight on these. Just body weight. Centering a div is the real workout. Nice. Oh yeah, I guess Pablo, you're right. I mean, like I guess what I mean is like that whole process, that whole software development life cycle, right? Of like requirements, design, implementation. Let's say implementation, let's say testing. I think we're a ways away from that whole cycle being facilitated through some sort of agentic AI. And so I think regardless of how, like, let's say that whole process could all be facilitated through natural language, right? So thus making the need to learn programming languages obsolete. I don't think that means then a bunch of programmers and people don't have jobs. I just think it means those same people are doing that same work because they're the kind of people that want to be doing that kind of work. They're just going to use different tools. Because to me, a lot of that AI stuff, it's the promise. It's the same, especially when it comes to like, oh, AI is gonna like take over programmer and coder jobs. It's the same stuff they said about WordPress. It's the same stuff they said about Squarespace. It's the same stuff they said about all these platforms that are supposed to be no code platforms. And yet, funny enough, a lot of the people who end up working with those tools are just the same people that used to code the websites themselves. So I don't know. I just don't get that doesn't it doesn't the hype around that just doesn't land for me. Yeah, exactly. So Pablo, what you said there, that was way more elegant than what I said. Focus on the product to improve it. Doesn't matter where you sit. I love that. That's still required with any tech. I love that's I think I might hold on, let me can I copy your comment? Dang, I can't. Well, I guess I can pin it. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that just because I want to be stream off for a second. There we go. I want to be able to save that comment because that's just such an elegant way to put it. And it's also a much better way to look at how people participate in that process. Because there's a little bit too much tribalism between like product design, uh, QA. You know, there's all this tribalism, and I think that's just so lame. Okay, another set. I'm quickly coming up on my 1:30. I was hoping to stop about 1:30 and then eat some lunch and then go live again at 2. That meeting this morning kind of really threw off my plans for the day. But that's okay because it's Friday, man, you know? Sun's out. Although we're supposed to get some rain here, honestly. I think later tonight. The client said something like, "An AI can do that" to her, she was so mad. Nice. Pin Pablo's comment. Yeah, I agree, Sinja, everyone should see that comment, it's just such a great way to there you go, I pinned it. It's such a great way to think about, like, the role you should play. See, when you wow, my left side in terms of upper body is so much more flexible than my right. Isn't that weird, the imbalances? Like, I notice right now when I'm doing these single leg supine bridges, it is much harder for me to feel it in my left glute than my right glute. I actually it's funny, Pablo, I have a coworker right now who is super on the AI hype train, which I love. I think it's super excited that he's excited about it, but I think he's just so caught up in the hype a little bit too much. Okay, I'm gonna do one more set here. I'm gonna do one more set, and then I think I'm gonna wrap up, and then I'll be live again in like 30 minutes. Like my right shoulder is so stiff, maybe because I sleep on my right arm. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to track down where those imbalances come from. LOL. The thin line between interest and seeing it as a god. Dude. You're on it today with your messages because that is so true. Because like it's interesting, right? So then you start to poke at it. Then you poke at it just enough that you're like, wow, this thing is crazy, crazy capable. But then if you stop there, that's a problem because you really need to go just a little bit further. And then you realize, okay, this thing is good, but it's also kind of dumb sometimes too. So there is there is a thin line there that like you don't want to like, it seems like you honestly you have to find it interesting, do some initial exploration. Okay, now you're a believer. Now you need to take your interest one little bit further so that you can see the limitations and you don't just start saying that AI is gonna take all of our jobs and, you know, all the hyperbole stuff that people say about it. Oh, put on the shoes here. I can feel the humidity. It's definitely gonna rain. So humid. Pablo, dude, we agree so much. Yeah. The MCP type, for example, yeah, it's great. It means we can all focus our energy on a single standard, but it's not revolutionary. Yeah, come on. Exactly. Exactly. It it's the same, it's a solution to a problem that, right, it's the same solution to a similar problem that has been implemented previously. Like we kind of talked about, like the whole idea of like the language server protocol, where it makes sense that you're going to need some sort of unifying approach because you don't want everyone having to develop everything bespoke. But at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're you're allowing a probabilistic system to call deterministic code, right? That's kind of the end of the day. That's what you're doing, um, right? Because you can't just let the AI start writing. Um, you can't necessarily trust it to produce the proper code or the proper statements to take the action that you want it to take reliably. So what do? You write deterministic code that the LLM can generate inputs into and calls into your deterministic code. Now you have the best quote. Azim, what's up, brother? Just a quick question. Do you watch UFC? Yeah, Azim, I do watch UFC. How are you? Also, how are you, Azim? You doing well? Thanks for stopping by the chat again. I'm actually about ready to do kind of a bait and switch where I stop the stream where I'm working out, and then in about 20-ish minutes or so, I'm gonna start the stream again. Robert, hi, how are you, Robert? Good to see you, man. I'm gonna try to unplug my charger without disrupting the camera. Your top five. Oh, that's tough. Okay. Uh, top five. Well, you have to. Okay, so you have to put John Jones right in the top five, right? That's his name. Yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know. I'll give you top five, but I'm not going to put them in any particular order. So you got to put John Jones up there. You got to put Anderson Silva. Um, I think Khabib is headed there, right? I mean, that dude is a monster. Uh, he though I think the one thing you could probably say about him right now is just longevity, right? Doesn't have the same longevity as somebody like Anderson Silva or John Jones. Jose Aldo, I think, is in the top five. Selfishly, I'm going to put Randy Couture in there because I just like Randy Couture. Um, who else? People would probably really disagree with me for this pick. BJ Penn. I watched a lot of BJ Penn fights. Um, like when I first got into the UFC, like in high school, at the end of the high school, and I always just was really impressed with his athleticism. GSP. See, this is the problem, Azim. There's too many. George St. Pierre, yeah. So I watched a lot of BJ Penn and I watched a lot of GSP when I first started getting into the UFC. Um, but yeah, it's crazy because what's crazy about it is it's still such a young sport, right? So we probably have yet to actually see the greatest, right? Or even the top five greatest. Because you got to think, being a professional fighter like that wasn't really. I mean, it did make sense. Like, if you're in school and you're thinking about I want to be a professional athlete, you're not thinking, when I was growing up, you're not thinking I want to be a professional UFC fighter. But there's some kids out there, right, that have grown up in a world where being a professional fighter is a legitimate aspiration. So there's going to be eventually someone who makes it to the UFC who's been training mixed martial arts since they were like, three, right? So that will be kind of wild to see. What's your opinion on Ilya versus Islam? Islam? I don't have one. Um, I guess that shows some of my ignorance about UFC right now because I don't actually recognize either of those names. Um, so Azim, I don't want to cut you off, but I'm gonna stop the stream. I'm gonna run inside and get some lunch. But then I'm gonna fire the stream back up around 2 o'clock. Uh, and we're gonna do something that's related to code. I don't know if it's gonna be me actually coding or maybe Pablo had suggested maybe we check out the Matt Pocock and Anders Halsberg interview that was live this morning. So I might like watch that a little bit and kind of live react to it. But not I don't want to. So yeah. So if you're hanging out here now and you want to keep hanging out, I'll be live again in about 20 minutes. Um, so sorry if you're showing up right now, like Hitman. I'm sorry if you're showing up right now and it feels like I'm running away. It's just bad timing. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. If I don't see you later, if you're not going to come to the stream later, I hope you have a good rest of your Friday and have an awesome weekend ahead of you. And I'll see you guys then. Okay. Bye, y'all.